has she requested any further advice on options to sell state-owned assets?
Well, Mr. Speaker, as I've said, we are evaluating the Crown balance sheet, which I would point out Crown companies are a very small portion of. New Zealanders collectively own many assets, which are social assets: schools, hospitals, houses, roads. And I would point out to the member that it is the case, for example, that on our watch, Kāinga Ora has sold many multi-million-dollar homes in Ponsonby and Herne Bay so that they can reuse the proceeds to build homes in areas of highest need. Similarly, under the last government, Kiwi Bank sold Kiwi Wealth, releasing $225 million in capital to improve its growth prospects and potentially increasing lending to New Zealanders by 14%.
Point of order, the Honourable Karen McAnulty.
Thank you, sir. The question was a relatively straightforward one. Has she sought any additional advice? We're none the wiser as to whether that is the case. That particular aspect of the question was not addressed by that long answer.
Well, I think the start was by saying that what the government has decided to do. I think you can go around this stuff forever, but have another sup.
Are all Associate Ministers of Finance receiving all the advice on the ownership interest in state-owned assets? If not, why not?
Depend on the advice, but as I made very clear in my answer to the primary question, all advice will be taken to Cabinet, and Cabinet collectively will make decisions about the ownership statements. That has not yet occurred.
Supplementary. Is it an appropriate use of public sector resources to do the groundwork on asset sales, given the government has ruled out asset sales this term?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I utterly reject that assertion. The member is confusing basic financial stewardship with privatisation, because unlike the previous government, we take seriously our role as stewards of public assets, and we believe it is in the interests of New Zealand taxpayers to ensure they are performing well and to their purpose. And where they are not performing well or to their purpose, you can bet we will be holding their boards and chair people to account for lifting that performance on behalf of New Zealanders. You sat back, let them underperform. We won't do that.
Nasty. Supplementary. Will she rule out asset sales while she is Minister of Finance?
Well, Mr. Speaker, the Crown has made very clear that we will not be selling Crown companies this term, and what I've also made clear it is the case that we have, for example, sold multi-million-dollar homes previously owned by Kāinga Ora so that we can recycle that capital into better value homes for people in need. This is consistent with the practice of the previous government, which also did the same thing, selling assets owned by Kāinga Ora to put the dollars to better purposes. It is also the case that within entities that the Crown owns, from time to time, they will divest some of their assets in order to better recycle that capital, as is the primary example, Kiwi Wealth, a $225 million asset owned by Kiwi Bank, sold by the previous government, with the proceeds recycled into Kiwi Wealth. Mr Hipkins says that's not true, Mr Speaker. I can assure him the statements I make in this House are accurate.
Supplementary.
New Zealand Post.
Hang on. Question being asked.
Supplementary. How many homes has she funded and built this year from the recycling of the funding from the sales she mentioned in her previous response?
Well, Mr Speaker, that's a question both probably better put to the Minister of Housing and better put in writing.